Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
My brother's adored by the women who wear our design.
You look beautiful.
Three-time Academy Award winner Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the best actors alive.
I feel as if I've been looking for you for a very long time.
Don't miss his final and most astonishing performance in Phantom Thread, hailed by the LA Times, Vanity Fair, and Rolling Stone as one of the best pictures of the year.
I have things I simply cannot do without you.
Phantom Thread.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Dude, no! Oh!
Wakey, wakey. Eggs and bacon.
What?
What?
Welcome to Moviesucktastic, and this is the special Fuck Peter Ferguson episode. Welcome to the episode of Peter Ferguson Can Suck My Taint.
Wow.
Yes.
Ain't Ferguson a white guy?
Or as I like to call it, who the fuck is Peter Ferguson?
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but okay. We could go there. No, we appreciate, for the most part, all listener criticisms and things of that nature. But sometimes, well, maybe not sometimes. Most of the time, we get a lot of criticism about how we should shut the fuck up and play the movie, which, along with the fact that YouTube flags us for just even sneezing in the direction of a film, we've gone now to slideshows playing in the background instead of the film. What made the show unique before has now ended. Now, I don't see anyone doing slideshows like we're doing, where we're showing lots of different scenes and poster art and things of that nature, like this episode we're doing Phantom Thread. I don't see anyone doing what we're doing this way either. Now, this way, we're not getting flagged anymore, but, you know, that uniqueness that we had, where we would show the film that we were actually reviewing in the background, is now gone. And it breaks my heart a little bit, because YouTube just can't get over itself.
Yeah.
So...
Now, like, once every year, I'll be like, hey, I haven't looked at YouTube comments in a while, and I'll breeze through a bunch of them.
You should be getting those notifications. I don't understand why you're not. You're an administrator on the YouTube page.
Because I ignore them.
Oh, you do ignore them?
Because honestly, who gives a fuck?
Well, every time we get one, I take a look, and if you've noticed, I have answered some people.
Yes, and occasionally, I do too. And let me just lay three things out for you right now.
Okay.
One, there's nothing more fucking pathetic than a whiny cunt who throws or pitches a fucking fit the minute someone says anything negative about a film that they like. Who gives a fuck what you think? Now, I realize That's what we do with the show.
Right.
But why do you give a fuck what we think? If you're listening, it's because you're looking to listen to somebody talk about it. We're talking about it. That's it. If we say, oh, by the way, this film, maybe they could have done better in the colors, and you're like, oh, how dare you? This film is uncritical. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Just fucking kill yourself, because you gotta fucking understand that not everybody thinks like you do. Because if they did, we'd all be fucking idiots. All right. So, second thing, if you want to hear, well, obviously on day 12, they did a script rewrite, and it was decided through a debate that the production were like, you know what? Fucking get the audio commentary or read a fucking book. If you always want to hear two people talk about films, that's why you're browsing through fucking YouTube. What are you looking for? Experts? And number 3, you know why we don't have production values? Because we have fucking lives. This is something we do for fun, and if you like it, great, and if you don't, fuck you.
And Scott is so right with all of that. We make $0 doing this. Every once in a while, I'll go to the analytic part of our YouTube channel, and I'll see how much money we've made. It still says 0.00. Until that changes, where we're actually bringing in any kind of real money, maybe then I would consider listening to some user requests. Or not user requests. I keep saying user requests. Some listener requests about, hey, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that, and maybe you should shut the fuck. No, we're not going to shut the fuck up. We're going to keep talking about what we want to talk about, and we're going to talk about it with whatever we want playing in the fucking background. So stop asking for us to shut up so you can watch the movie, which isn't fucking possible anyway. It's not like there's a switch where we can turn the volume on. You can turn us off. Nobody does that.
All right, and let me go one further. If there's anybody I'm willing to take advice from, it's not someone who has fucking time to watch YouTube videos. You obviously don't have dick to do with your life.
Right.
You know what I don't do? I don't watch YouTube videos. I don't watch my own YouTube videos. I can't even tell you how many of our shows have I watched. None. You know why? Because I've lived them, motherfucker. And I do occasionally get to watch some YouTube videos. I sure as fuck don't comment on them. And if I don't like them, I don't take the time to tell them why. You know why? Because they don't give a fuck.
That's right.
And there's nothing sadder than somebody who thinks that if you're putting stuff on YouTube, your main goal in life is to be PewDiePie. I would kill myself if I became PewDiePie. I'd kill myself if I wanted to become PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
I'd kill PewDiePie. You
Pootie.
know, and
it's Pootie.
Don't take that.
I don't fucking care. I didn't know who PewDiePie was until about 6 or 8 months ago, and then I found out how much money he made acting like a fucking moron. And there are people that watch him do it, and the dude makes like what, $4 million a year? Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what that's called? Lowest common denominator. Am I upset that I'm not the lowest common denominator? Oh, I'm fucking crying. Don't give a fuck. You know, if this was a full-time job and I was putting thousands of dollars into it and I'm dressing sets and we've got, editing suites and shit, oh yeah, I'd be breaking my heart that you gave me a fucking thumbs down. But guess what? I'm not. No one gives a fuck. Peter Ferguson specifically, fuck you and your life. And if you're listening to this show and you don't like something we've done and we haven't heard about it, guess what? You've got a fucking life. Enjoy it. You're good. We're with you. We don't get, honestly.
No, you're right. You're right. And you know what, too? I upload all our videos now because I can without any fucking hassle. We can't even monetize our videos because, and this is largely in part to YouTube being a bunch of fucking dicks. We can't monetize any of our videos until we reach 4,000 viewer hours a year and 1,000 subscribers. Now, we're over the 1,000 subscriber mark, but we're not close to the 4,000 hours because YouTube flags our shit and we don't upload enough stuff. Now we're uploading a video, every week, sometimes when we take some time off every couple of weeks. So we probably will be able to hit the 4,000 hour mark this year or more. But if they flag us in any way, like let's say, for instance, the 30-second TV spot for this gets flagged, we can't monetize it because whatever, Warner Brothers or Universal or Focus Features will monetize our video instead. Not that we're going to make any money because we haven't made any money yet, but still, it's still along those lines of what the fuck, why are we still trying to upload videos to YouTube?
And by the way, too, if you're listening to our show and you're like, oh, what's the production value? This, that. How about this? How about thank fucking Christ that we're not going to stop 15 minutes in to plug fucking Blue Apron, or that we don't spend like a 10-minute block at the beginning. You should go to our Patreon page and do this, which we do have one going, but we're probably not going to use it. Do this, and if you subscribe for $5, we'll give you bonus material. And if you give us $10, just go to Amazon and use our link. And we don't spend half the fucking episode doing that. You know why? Because we're not trying to make money from you. We're just recording shit that we say because we think it might be entertaining to somebody. Right. And guess what? It is to some. And those are the only people we care about.
That's right.
Honestly. The only people we give a shit about are the people that like it, or at least if they do have something to say, it's not mean-spirited. I can understand why you have so many dislikes. I know I have so many dislikes. You know why? Because I'm not fucking PewDiePie. Thank fucking Christ. And by the way, Peter Ferguson, if you're listening, the fact that you have your icon on YouTube is you with your children, and you're wasting your time commenting on YouTube videos, you're a fucking sad waste of life.
Oh my god. Well, hey.
Now, speaking of love stories.
Speaking of love stories.
This episode, this is our next to last Oscar Best Picture episode.
That's right. This is episode 270 of Moviesucktastic. Where we're reviewing, if I can talk, Phantom Thread, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
You pronounced it wrong. It's Phantom Thread.
Okay, I'll do better next time.
You're right. Yeah.
It's Paul Thomas Anderson film, Daniel Day-Lewis's supposed last film, which I don't buy. I don't buy for a second. He might take a few years off, maybe 3-4 years, but this is not his last film. If it is, I'd be shocked. I would absolutely be shocked. I think he takes time off, but that's it. Now, even the TV spots and trailers are using that as a marketing campaign. See Daniel Day-Lewis in his final movie ever. They're using it that way. They did it in the TV spot that I played. So, and I'm sure the film it's been making money, actually. It's made $28 million worldwide, 18 here, domestically, 10 million foreign. I'm sure. Is it even out in the UK yet? It's got to be. Yeah, it is out in the UK, which it's in as far as the foreign market goes, that's where it's made the most money. It's made about $3 million in the UK, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. But this film, excuse me.
Okay. We're going to hit a spoiler alert wall in about maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think we have to.
So, all right. So, yeah, we're going to talk, we'll hit that wall. So just be forewarned. At a certain point, if you haven't seen the movie and you give a shit, you're going to want to turn it off. And that was open up for a reason. I apologize. I'll turn that down. Anyway, keep going.
Okay. So the thing with this film, I really enjoy Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. I don't enjoy all of them. This being one of them.
How could you not enjoy all Paul Thomas Anderson's films? Paul Thomas Anderson is a great director. You obviously know nothing about film, sir.
I mean, I'm a defender of Magnolia, where Scott is not the least.
Fuck that. All right, and let me just for the record, I'm going to lay it out straight. It's not that Magnolia as a whole is a shitty film. It's as a whole, it's a bad film. And I've always said, in Magnolia, there are 2 or 3 really great movies. The problem is he made them all in one film.
Yeah, and I think the problem, and this is, I will agree with you on that. After he did Boogie Nights, the studio, I forget who the studio was and who he was in bed with at the time, really wanted his next film, and they really wanted it the next year. They didn't want to wait.
Yeah.
They didn't want to wait for him to kind of craft a vision of another movie. So he had this film, Magnolia, which I believe he had a few different ideas and ended up making all of them. And the film it's a very long movie. It's a 3-hour movie, and it's because there are so many different moving parts to the film. And a lot of those, in my opinion, a lot of those moving parts work really well. Some of them do not. I enjoyed the film. Scott really didn't.
I have a problem with the entire, the opening. And we're not reviewing this fucking film. You know what?
Right.
I'm going to stop. We're going to review Magnolia at some point. We'll stop right here.
We will.
All right.
Okay.
But suffice to say, he's not a bad director.
No.
I just don't like some of his films. And honestly, the main reason I don't like Magnolia is because it was a perfect example of The Emperor Has No Clothes, where everybody was fucking, like, it was almost afraid to say it wasn't a good movie. It's one of the few things I'll agree with Kevin Smith on.
Oh, he said he didn't like it?
No, but he made fun of the film. Like, remember in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, one of the people who criticized the Jay and Silent Bob movie in the film is Magnolia Lover, like 78.
Oh.
and I was like, all right, Kevin, you got me with that one. I love that. That's still good.
So, yeah, I do like a lot of his films. I just, I can't do this movie. I can't do it. I watched it.
Which one?
Phantom Thread. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a bad film. I can respect what he put on the screen. I can respect how he did it, but I can't get into this movie.
All right.
I couldn't get into this movie.
Here's where it is. I'm going to tell you exactly what the deal is with Phantom Thread. And this isn't necessarily a negative thing either. Phantom Thread is like a film savant's wet dream. This is the kind of film where if you read reviews, I read several reviews of this film afterwards just because I wanted to see what the critical response was. And any review you read about this film is going to do two things. It's going to glow, and it's going to mention a lot of obscure films and drop as many fucking like cinematic references as possible. It's one of those movies.
And the thing is, I'm very foggy or not knowing at all of these other references, even though I knew that that's what was happening, and I could tell.
The one obvious one that I know you even got was Clockwork Orange.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that shot, I was like, all right. It was like, there's no way he's not trying to mimic Clockwork Orange with this shot of the car. This is fucking ridiculous. and there's, you know what? There's little shots like that we're going to talk about the twist in the third act, but I got to say, like, everything in this film that becomes like darkly humorous is 100% intentional. This isn't a straight this isn't a straight romance film. It's kind of a dark, I wouldn't say dark comedy, but there's definitely some dark humorous tones in it.
Oh, I mean, I chuckled out loud more than a handful of times because it was just like little things where I'm laughing and Mare didn't say, "Hey, why are you laughing?" But she understood because she knew that I understood something, or that I knew it was because it was meant to be portrayed in a dark kind of humor, a way like that.
Yeah, let me just say, the screenwriting, fucking spot on. Whether or not you enjoy the film or it's too slow for you, the dialogue is fucking perfect.
Oh yeah.
I would say it's minimal dialogue. Even though it's not like the film where it has long stretches of silence, but it is minimal dialogue. The dialogue is very curt. It is very spaced.
Sure.
It is very deliberate. The characters all speak deliberately. There's very few instances of someone speaking where they have not thought what they're going to say ahead of time.
One of my favorite scenes in the film, as far as where dialogue is exchanged, is when she brings him tea and he's working, and he says he doesn't want it. And she says, "Okay, well, I'll take it away." And he goes, "Yeah, but I don't want it." And she goes, "I'm taking it away." He goes, "Yeah, but the interruption still exists."
The tea is going away, but the interruption is staying right here.
Right. Exactly.
And he's a fucking asshole.
Well,
he's a huge asshole.
But he's also
a great asshole.
Right. He's also like a big man child too.
Oh yeah, huge mother complex.
Yeah. It just, and the fact that he
very
can't.
Fastidious.
Yep, Ew. He has to have a house full of people, even though he doesn't want to associate with them. You okay there? He doesn't want to associate. My chin. Well, he's got the house of his last name is Woodcock, so it's the House of Woodcock, and he's.
Did you see?
What?
I'm sorry. I got to stop real quick. Did you see that one of the things about the film was that when they were developing it, I think Daniel Day-Lewis, if I got this right, Daniel Day-Lewis came up with the idea of the name Wayland. Is it Wayland Reynolds? What was the first name?
It's Reynolds Woodcock.
Reynolds Woodcock was a joke name.
Oh, really?
Like he's like, yeah, and he loved it so much they kept it.
Why was it a joke? It was just something he thought was funny?
Woodcock.
Well, I know.
Woodcock.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the whole joke. It was like, it's just like, yeah, it's Reynolds Woodcock. And it's like, yeah, all right, we're going to use it.
I'm going to put splinters in you, babe. So, well, hey, we're going to talk about wooden cocks. So, yeah, it's the screenwriting is good. The dialogue, you're right, is very minimal. He delivers an amazing performance. His wife, or Alma, who then becomes his wife, she's great too. Their interactions are very good, but a lot of what's portrayed on the screen, I just couldn't get into. I don't know if it was, and it's not. It really wasn't the pacing. This isn't an issue with like Call Me by Your Name, where I thought it was poorly paced and I thought things needed to move better. It's just one of those films. It's just one of those films that now that I've seen it, I'll probably never watch it again. It's an issue of that. I didn't hate this film, but I didn't really like it either. I just couldn't find myself liking this movie. And maybe it's just my personal taste with things. I'm not going to sit here and praise Paul Thomas Anderson. I started off the show with, I like a lot of his films. This isn't one of them.
Not all of the films? What are you talking about, sir?
Not all of them. Well, if you make this... You should listen to this podcast and this podcast and this podcast and this podcast. And if you do and you change your show, I will subscribe and tell all my friends. Fuck you.
And you should blow me and gargle, sir.
I don't care if you tell no one.
Yeah, it gives a fuck. Seriously.
But it just...
By the way...
What?
I was going to say, if you are listening and you like the show, thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
We not only do it for ourselves, but we do it for anyone that is still listening out there. Which, think of it this way. The YouTube video is a bonus. We do a live show. The video is then saved on my computer, and we decide to upload it to YouTube. Because the way it works is we do this show, we upload it to iTunes, and that's where most of the people listen to our show, through iTunes and other podcast type search engines and whatnot. There was a new one that contacted us today, actually.
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
And I looked into it. They're legit. It's called Listen Tunes or something like that.
Something weird, something stupid.
Yes,
I
something along those lines.
Not to be mean, but it's just trying to find. I've had people criticize this. I remember the first time when we first started the show, I was telling some people at work, and one of the guys was like, "Moviesucktastic, dude, you could do better." It's like, all right, give me one. I happen to like it. I think it's kind of what else you want to call it? I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, how many fucking movie podcasts are out there? Cut me a break.
It's called
Not that I came up with it. You gave me the list of ideas. That I was like, Moviesucktastic. I like that.
Listen Notes, it's called. Hey, you know what? I had about 20 different names for the podcast. Everything from This Movie Sucks, which was already being used. This Movie Sucks was... We
had a blog briefly called This Movie Sucks.
Yeah, it was a blog that I started that Scott, came in on. And... I had a couple of films that I had written about. One being Hercules, one with Lou Ferrigno, and it was called This Movie Sucks. And you know what? We didn't want to go that way. There was already a website called This Movie Sucks, and it wasn't available anyway.
And later, Roger Ebert's book was This Movie Sucks, or Your Movie Sucks, one of the two. So I'm kind of glad we didn't go the same way Roger Ebert went.
Well, yeah. So, you know what? We laid it all out. We really liked the way Moviesucktastic sounded. And, hey, the rest is history.
I think the point is most truly creative people, and by the way, I want to plug once again, because this is like one of the few other like podcast review films, YouTube shows I've watched. that I actually enjoyed is the show Dead Meat. If you haven't heard of Dead Meat on YouTube, please look it up. The guy does body counts of horror films. He actually knows what he's talking about, and he's informative. And at first, I was like, oh, one of these assholes who thinks they're fucking, Ryan Seacrest or whatever. It's a knee-jerk reaction every time one of these fucking guys. But it's a great show. But I think the point is, I forget what my point was. The point is, the whole purpose of this is not to attract people. It's just to do it.
Yeah.
Art is art, and I'm not saying this is art. Please, God forbid, that art takes work.
We'll be heading into our 10th year in about, I don't know, a little over a year. We'll be in our 10th year doing this.
Yeah, your little thumbs down means jack shit to that. Yeah. Seriously.
No, tell me about it.
So
well, and you know what too, and I know we jumped off a Phantom Thread. We're gonna head back there, but the second I upload a video, we usually get a thumbs down very quickly, even though it'll say Phantom Thread 2017, a Moviesucktastic review. It says that it's a review right there. We'll get a thumbs down.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the first shot people see is you checking your phone while the opening rolls. Can't we get a video up while the opening theme goes?
Probably.
Can't we get some kind of? Can we do some kind of official opening? Tell you what. Here's the deal. I'll do that. I'll record our bumpers.
Okay.
Like I promised.
Uh-huh.
I'll even edit video for our bumpers if you start fucking putting an opening there instead of you checking your phone.
I never check my phone in the opening.
Dude, I just watched. I was all right.
I might have checked my phone last episode of the episode before, but I hardly ever do that.
No. All right, I just went through all the Oscar episodes and scheduled them so each one release each day up to the Oscars on our Facebook page.
Right.
If you have it on our Facebook page, it's a great way to get them. And I swear, 3 of them at least. The don't bonk,
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's not that you're checking your phone. Is that we're looking at you, look at your screen instead of just maybe like a Moviesucktastic logo. Anything.
Yes.
Anything.
And I'll be honest, I've been saying to myself, I was like, why did they have to look at me for the first 30 seconds before we start?
So are they, Joey. So are they.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
and by
There's
the way,
somebody
also,
out there that's a fan of me.
Here's something for you, Joey.
Yes.
I'm moving to Texas.
I know.
Behind me, that mess behind me.
Uh-huh.
When I move to Texas, that's going to be replaced by something really sweet.
Okay.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be nice and presentable. You're going to have to do the same. Whether it's a green screen or whatever, you're going to have to fix your background. We got to step it up just a little bit so Peter Ferguson can like us and recommend us to people.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
All right.
I need a T-shirt. Peter Ferguson, please love me.
Please love me.
Love me.
Love me. All right. I'll figure out what I can put behind me.
Anyway, Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. Yes.
Let's go to spoiler mode.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I got to get a sound for the soundboard.
You don't have a sound for that?
I
think you get me drunk from Shape of Water. So spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, we'll do this. Spoiler alert.
Ah!
Okay.
Realistic. You can't do that. Anyway,
no, I don't.
let's go into the part where we're going to talk about the third act. Now, do you want to mention it, or do you want me to? Because I have a great. I know how I told Holly. Do you want me to explain it?
You know what? Yeah, that would be good, because I have a way that I would describe it, and I don't know if it would be exactly the same way you would describe it. So I'm interested to hear what you're going to say.
So I'm watching this film that I didn't really care about in the first place, and it's long, it's pretentious. There's some great moments. The direction is beautiful. It's a huge film snob movie. This is film snob through and through. This is the Angelica. on opening night. The mise en scene, and I'm just like, all right, I get it.
Was I right with my comparison? Because I have never seen Age of Innocence, but it starts off, and I'm like, this feels like Age of Innocence. Maybe not as boring or as pretentious, but it's like this is like Age of Innocence, but in the 1950s London.
It had that element of, okay, this is going to be long drawn out, but there's an undertone that I was like, okay, something's going to happen. Something interesting's going to happen.
Well, it usually does with Paul Thomas Anderson films.
Yeah. I mean, with Age of Innocence, half hour in, you knew you were fucked. You're just like, oh, this is just going to be this and nothing but this for 3.5 hours, 5 days, however long it is. So Paul Thomas Anderson, you kind of get that in the back of your head. Danny Day-Lewis, great performance. He's a dick. He's not just like, like there's just that element of him where you're like, okay, something interesting happened here, because he's definitely a caustic personality. He meets the girl. We've already set the whole thing up at the beginning. A lot of it's very blatant too. It's like, oh, I get it. Okay, he throws away women every now and then. Here's the new one. This is going to keep going. It gets to the point, and what was her name? Emma?
Alma.
Elma. Elma is trying
Alma. Such a sexy name.
Alma, hey. Like man with two brains. Alma, hey. Alma, it's such a beautiful name. Alma,
so sexy,
is exerting her own influence. She's like, I'm gonna, she's really exerting. She's trying to fight back against him. Keeps barging in, trying to do things. She wants to be a part of his life. She wants to have some control. So it gets to the night where she decides she's going to break his cycle of having everything the certain way he likes. She tells everyone to go home. She's going to make a dinner. And they sit down, and it's one of the best romantic dinner arguments ever. It starts off just like him, fucking just being obnoxious with the one stick of asparagus. It's like, do you like it? It says, yes. It says, you don't, do you? It's like, well, of course I don't, because I'm sitting here and you know specifically what I like. And it gets to the point where he said he's accusing her of, who are you? Are you here to kill me? Do you have a gun?
Where's your gun?
Yeah. And I'm watching. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. This is great. So I'm like, I'm totally enraptured now. I'm like, I'm tuned in. So and I think Paul. And again, this is all Paul Thomas Anderson knows. You're drifting a little bit in this film. You're focused now. You're watching this, and like this great fucking argument. This is the best romantic dinner argument ever. And then it ends, and the next scene is Alma looking at a cookbook about poisonous mushrooms.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Well, and what's crazy about that scene is I'm like, all right, this is the Paul Thomas Anderson that I know and love. Some shit's gonna go down, and it kind of doesn't. I mean, things happen, but I'm thinking, all right, this is where, it's like to that climax, and there will be blood. It's like, this is it. It's coming.
Well, here's the great part about it, though, and this is where the film gets me a little bit, is that, like, the film doesn't suddenly switch gears. It keeps the same tone, right, but it just gets darker.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, and you like, it's on purpose. Like, it's like, oh wow, that's sudden. It's like, he knows it's sudden. He knows you're laughing at this. He knows there's this underground Twitter. Oh, that's such a fucking sudden switch, and that's not supposed to be like subtle. It's just like slaps you in the face. So like, and then she poisons him and nurses him back from health because he's got this whole mother thing.
Did you also notice that she gave him a thimble full of poison?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's obviously on purpose as well. She used a thimble. So so if anyone doesn't understand what that means, he's a designer, and he has a group of women sew, and he designs clothes. Thimble, if anyone doesn't understand, I can't believe I'm explaining this, but one would put a thimble on your finger, usually a pinky, so that you don't stab yourself with a pin repeatedly.
And it's also kind of a maternal thing too. There's a maternal element to it.
Oh well, yeah.
Because he's not a seamstress or anything like that. He's a what do you call it?
He's a designer.
Designs clothing. Designing.
Designer.
Okay.
He's a designer.
But what's even better about that is that he does it again later, and even though you kind of feel it coming, because they get married, but then the marriage starts waning thin because he's still like, he starts like, oh, I don't like her, she messes up my routine. She's
Basically,
he
he became Job from Arrested Development. I've made a horrible mistake.
Horrible mistake. but like later on, they have the scene with his sister, and there's a whole weird fucking thing going on.
Her name
there.
is Cyril.
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 Yeah, man's name. Cyril. Man's name.
Right.
As far as I know. But like she walks in on him telling her, like, we have to do. There was a stain in this house. We have to remove it. And like the next scene is her picking mushrooms. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, because she walks in on him saying all these horrible things about her, and the sister doesn't give him a heads up or anything.
So I mean, the film is really a great dark comedy, but the problem is the dark comedy doesn't really come into play until the third act.
Right. That is true. There's a couple of chuckles in the first and a little bit of the second act, but you're right. And most of everything is in the third. Well,
because in the first and second act, you're not chuckling at anything dark. You're just chuckling at him being a dick.
Well, that is true. And and I don't want to say nothing good happens in the first and second act, but everything that's good happens in the third act.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of scenes where you get that he's in love with her when she does things for him that gets him excited. Like when the one woman he designs a dress for, she's getting married and she's totally drunk and plastered and maybe even high. Who knows what the fuck she is, but she is in his dress and she's drunk. And she's not making a good example of herself in his dress. And that really sends him down the deep end as far as being depressed about it and being moody. And Alma, she's like, listen, she cannot do that in your dress. And he's basically looking at her and saying, what do you want me to do about it? She goes up with him to go get the dress, and she takes...
All right, now, just so we don't get confused here.
What?
She keeps agonizing over it. He's the one that makes the final decision and drags her up and then he sends her in to get the dress off. She instigates it, but he's the one that takes it and says, "Yeah, let's get the dress back."
Well, that is true. Well, I mean, she was pushing. She was pushing because she was hoping that he would do that.
But I just wanted to make sure that we don't tilt the dynamic too much.
You're right.
She didn't take him upstairs. He took her upstairs.
Well, and I think the reason why that...
But she instigated that. She did instigate that. You're correct.
Well, I think the reason why that is, and Paul Thomas Anderson knows this, he's directing it a certain way, he wrote it a certain way. He would never make her take the reins and say, let's go get the dress. That would belittle him. So she was pushing and antagonizing so that he would do it, and he did. So she controlled him a little bit and got what she wanted as far as getting the dress back and empowering him to do so. Because one thing that you notice in this film is that she wants to be needed by him and he wants to be needed by anyone. He needs to be taken care of in a lot of ways. That's why he can't have Cyril not in the house. That's why they cannot go to dinner alone. She has to be present. He hates it when the women are sent home. When she did the dinner thing.
But you're missing a point. What you said was that he needs to be taken care of by someone, anyone. And up until that point, it's always been Cyril whose place is kind of like she's a fill-in for Mother.
Right.
He's never been able. He's never seen a romantic interest as someone that can provide for him. So, up until Alma, no one else has ever tried to assert themselves on him. They've always let him assert, and what he needs is a dominant woman, but he rejects a dominant woman in that kind of relationship because the mother relationship is obviously asexual. There's not supposed to be there's no sexual element to it, even though it does kind of mess up his sexual life, so to say.
Right. Yeah.
I would argue against any implications that he has a sexual attraction to his mother. There's an idealistic attraction to his mother, but I don't think it's not sexual, and that's why there's a divide for him with love, the sensualness he gets from like making dresses and stuff, and like and any kind of love interest. So that's why she breaks through that. I'm reading a bit too much into it, I know, but
well, maybe not. All right, so we're heading towards the spoiler of she poisons him.
We spoiled it 10 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
No, I know, but what happens? Well, we can elaborate a little bit more because the second time she poisons him, he's accepting of it, and it turns into this kind of relationship where you get the sense that he enjoys it because she's taking care of him. She's taking care of him, bringing him back to health, and it's not really a healthy way to have your relationship. But he really enjoys it after he knows the second time that he's been poisoned.
Here's my problem with that whole scene, and I'm just a little off on it. It's played 100% like he knows what she's doing.
Oh, when she's preparing him the omelet?
Right. Yeah. My question is, how? Did I miss something where a clue was given to him where it was like, hey, by the way, she might be poisoning with mushrooms? Is there anything there that leads up to that? I mean, it's 100% shown in that scene that there is nothing but, on his end, suspicion or acknowledgement, and on her end, it's a complete lack of care that he might know. There's like not even like it's just like not a concern. It's like, yeah, eat the fucking mushrooms. But my question is, did I miss something? Because I might have, that would explain how he might know
that he's being poisoned at all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It could be that over time, after he was
no. I'm not asking you to guess. I'm saying, is there anything in the film?
No, there's nothing.
That specifically. All right, thank you.
There is nothing.
That's all I wanted to know.
The only thing we can do is what you said, is guess that maybe he thinks that after he was poisoned the first time and the way their relationship is going, where he wants her out, that maybe she poisoned him the first time.
Cinematically, that's enough. This whole movie is about. Again, it's about film. It's not even about narrative. It's about film. The film is the narrative. So we don't need to know how he knows or why he suspects, but the scene, purely acting, directing, everything, sends that message to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's all that matters in a Paul Thomas Anderson film. Until it starts raining frogs.
Wow, yeah. Or Adam Sandler. Actually, I like Punch Drunk Love, but
that was probably Adam Sandler's last good film.
That might actually be a real. Yeah, that might be true.
Although I did like the remake of the football film. What was that called?
The Longest Yard.
Longest Yard. I did enjoy the remake. It was a little silly, but I did enjoy it.
I haven't seen that. I have it, but I haven't seen it.
It's not bad. You know, it's what it is. It's not bad. I've never seen the original, to be honest. So
the one with Burt Reynolds.
I felt bad about when I saw that. Yeah, because you know what? I can't watch every fucking film because I'm not paid to do it.
Yeah. Ain't that the fucking truth? All right, so have we said our piece about Phantom Thread? I guess.
Yeah. Now, as far as Oscars go.
Let's take a look. How many things is it nominated for?
I don't know how many.
I think it's nominated for picture, director, actor, probably. Score. Well, I think it's nominated for costume. I know it's nominated for 6, I believe.
It's costume and score, and there might be one more. I know it. I just went through it.
Original screenplay.
Original score. That's not up for screenplay.
It's not up for screenplay. Wow.
Which I'm surprised because the dialogue was fucking perfect. I'm honestly, I would say fucking get rid of the original screenplay. I don't know if there's anybody I would bump it for. Let me look. My notes are a mess here. Where's my screenplay list?
You know what's interesting, and I know we're going to review the Post next, but I think you could take Meryl Streep out of the Best Actress nomination and put in the Vicky, I can't remember her last name. Creepy.
Vichyssoise.
It's Vicky Krepke or Kripke or something like that.
Vichyssoise.
Vichyssoise. Anyway,
Yes.
the woman that plays Alma in the film. You could take out Meryl Streep and insert her. I thought her performance was good enough to be nominated.
Hold on. For Peter Ferguson, just a little bit of a for scene 12. Paul Thomas Anderson, he debated over 3 different versions of the dialogue there, and he went back to Yeats, and there was much debate about that. Anyway, back to the real fucking podcast.
It's not up for cinematography. I thought it might be. They had some pretty excellent scenes in there. It is up for costume design, which I expected. It's up for directing.
And honestly, for now I have not seen all the films for costume design, and it's always a crapshoot because you're talking about costume design people, and they're going to see more. You know what it is? It's like I'm not the person to ask about best score because I'm not a music person, so I can't tell you which score is better. I can tell you what I liked.
I can tell you what I think is going to win, and I think it's going to be Victoria and Abdul for costume design.
Because it's Victorian area. Because it's the Queen Victoria and Indian, and you got the whole different cultures there. With I mean, without having seen the film, you could make a good assumption.
Right.
Right. But
what else?
The Phantom Thread's about dressmakers. I mean, if you're going to hit a bias in the costume design category,
right,
that's the one. So I think this one is just based on the subject matter. I don't know. Maybe it gets a little edge. Bump, bump.
You never know. It is up for musical score, like you said. So it's up It's up for picture, director.
Are you implying that could have been wrong?
No, I'm just
just checking.
I'm just
checking.
I'm just
all right.
Confirming. So picture, director, actor, costume design.
Back to original score. Because so far we've seen every film except Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Have you seen Last Jedi?
I have.
Okay, so then you've seen all 5 musical scores. What do you think?
I gotta go either Shape of Water or Phantom Thread.
I'm in agreement. I think those 2 are the main ones that are going to be contenders.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, maybe Dunkirk in a strong third position, but
honestly, I don't remember Dunkirk having any music except for the end.
Well, what I think
a lot of silence in that film.
There was a lot of silence, and a lot of the scenes that had tension did have a musical score. You might not have noticed it because the action on screen was causing all the tension, but it does have a pretty good musical score that does push the story, and it does push all of the tension in the scenes that you're watching. But I still think Shape of Water, and I think Phantom Thread is going to edge Shape of Water because Phantom Thread relies on music a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but Shape of Water is much more musical. I mean,
it is more musical.
Phantom Thread relies on it more because there's less dialogue.
Right.
Shape of Water relies on it more because it's like music is actually a main theme of the film.
Okay. No, I can see that. So it's
back.
So it's picture, director, actor, costume design, score, and cinematography.
I'll tell you what.
Cinematography.
No, I'll tell you what,
it's not up for cinematography.
For best director and for where the fuck is my best director page? The problem is they don't have them in the order I want, so I have to. Here it is. Now, best director and best picture are. When you finished one, you finished the other. So I think in the episode of The Post, we'll make a final discussion of who we think is near for those 2.
Oh, good. Because, that'll be our last film. Perfect.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so it is on IMDb. It's currently rated a 7.9.
Right now.
25,000 votes.
What, 7.9?
7.9.
Yeah, I can't go higher than 7 just because I still keep getting flashbacks to
Magnolia.
No, the other film we were talking about.
What other film?
The fucking romance. Come on, my brain's hurting.
My brain's hurting trying to figure out what you're.
Scorsese, the Coppola.
Oh,
the
Age of
Scorsese
Innocence.
or-
Age of Innocence.
Age of Innocence. Age of Innocence.
All you
Thank
had to do was say Scorsese. Her name is Vicky Krieps. It's Krieps. So,
like I said, Vichy Soir.
Vichy Soir. Vichy
Vichy
Soir.
So we're gonna go with 7.
We're gonna go with a
7.
A 7. Most people
Yeah.
gave it an 8. 27.8% gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one off for Magnolia.
That's not a good reason to take one off. But
Don't care,
I'm in
still
agreement
might
with a 7 to begin with. So you could.
All right,
you
7
could-
it is.
I mean, listen, for me to go to an 8, I would have to have loved the film. I'm going to a 7 because I respect that it is not a bad film. It's just not a film for me. So.
All right. So my IMDb is still a dick. So do you want to do demographics real quick for me?
Yeah, sure. So what we're looking at here is we got all ages for males. 16,000 males rated this an 8 out of 10. Only 3,700 females rated this 7.6 out of 10.
Wow. You know what it is? I hate to say this. I don't want to be sexist, but I think that women aren't as strong film viewers as men are.
I can't disagree with that entirely, but I can't also agree with it either. There are a lot of, but you're right. I think
I'm not saying there aren't women. I'm not saying there aren't women that are film fans.
I know what you're saying.
I'm saying that I think when it comes to a fascination with films, I think the men outnumber the women. Just where I would say the opposite, and you're talking to a book lover, but I would also say literary-wise, I think the women outnumber the men.
Oh, I agree with that entirely. These are some interesting numbers. Under 18, there was only 100. There was only 115 votes under 18.
Good. If you're 16-year-olds watching this, I have worries about you.
Yeah, but that's still really low number. Anyway, under 18, 104 males, 8.7. 10 females, 6.9 in the under 18.
You know why? Because those under 18 males watching this are fucking film geeks times 10. If you're under 18 and you're watching this, you're already fucking lost to the world. You are a film geek squared. That's it. Just what 16-year-old says, hey, let's go see Phantom Thread. Yeah, man. No.
Well, judging by these numbers, they're not taking any dates with them. They're not taking any girls with them.
I could have told you that before looking at the numbers, sir.
So, okay, next up is the 18 to 29 bracket. What?
Put yourself in that position.
I'm never going to put myself in that position.
16-year-old girl, 6-year-old guy. Guy says to the girl, you want to go see Phantom Thread? What's the girl say? What are you fucking... No.
Can't we stay home and Netflix and chill?
But this should be one of Paul Thomas Anderson's best films ever.
It's Daniel Day-Lewis's last film.
I think I'm going to go hang out with the comic book kid. Yeah. Have fun with that.
18 to 29.
Nerd Chic only goes so far, people.
Yeah, 18 to 29.
Anyway.
7,100 males, 18 to 29 gave it an 8.2. Only 1,600 females, 7.7.
I'm telling you.
30 to 44 bracket. 5,700 males, 7.8. 1,200 females, 7.5. And then finally, the 45 and up bracket. 2,000 males rated it a 7.5. Only 600 females rated it a 7.5. So it is largely a male audience that's reviewing this film. Largely. I mean, it's actually quite crazy how many reviews are from males.
Oh,
I've never seen the scale this this topsy-turvy as far as or weighted to one side.
For our listeners, if we're talking about what women like in films and men like in films, I'll be opening up our next episode with a brief discussion about that.
Okay.
Yes, and and believe me, it could have been a lot longer a discussion, but Holly had to go to bed early.
Okay.
So, next episode, if you're listening now and you're interested in this whole guys films, girls films thing, listen to the next episode. You're gonna like it.
Yeah. I saw
At least for the first 10
a
minutes.
magazine cover that talks a little bit about what you're going to talk about.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it was Variety magazine or some shit like that.
Oh, I think it's like Club International or something. I don't know.
No. At least
Okay.
I think I know what you're going to talk about, and I saw a magazine cover that pretty much says, "Yeah, that's what I thought."
No, you don't know what we're going to talk about.
No? Okay.
No, you don't. You don't.
I'm intrigued.
Yes, you should be. All right, let's
right.
wrap this shit up. We got one more Oscar film to do before the big night in 2 weeks.
Nice.
A week and a half.
Yeah. We're going to take next Thursday off because we're doing.
Because I'll be in Texas.
Scott's going to be in Texas, but we're also planning to do the live Oscar video podcast of the show.
My
So,
plane lands at 5 o'clock. I'll be ready by 8.
fuck yeah. Oscar start at 8:30. Yeah.
I told Holly that. She's like, oh, no, Scott. That's like, really? Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Is she going to join in, you think? Probably.
No. She'll be
jet lagged.
No.
Mayor's going to join
Yeah.
us. So, Mayor's going to join us for at least the first part of the show, like she did last
You know
year.
what? She might not make it into work the next day. Yeah, we'll play the episode.
I'm probably taking the next day off just because, you know what? Fuck it.
I can't.
I am.
But
because fuck it. I'm up to my fucking eyeballs in upgrades. I can take the day off.
I'm gonna sleep on the plane. Anyway, wrap up the show.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us, as always, for another episode of Moviesucktastic, episode 270, where we reviewed Phantom Thread. Please go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can download the show there, listen to the show there. You can tune in live every Thursday at 8 o'clock and hang out with us while we review films. You can go to iTunes and you can download the show or listen to it there as well. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. Everything we post, from when we go live to trailers to just whatever fancies us in the movie industry, is on our Facebook page. You can go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. You can also leave us a voicemail. That's 908-514-4470. If you want to email us, the address is themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. And you can download the 100% free and awesome Android app for the show. You can listen to the show there. It's a perfect way, it's a perfect portal into the Moviesucktastic world. It's how I listen to our show in my own vehicle. You can either use a headphone jack, or you can just use Bluetooth if you got it, which is what I recommend. It's awesome. So, yep, that's my spiel. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
Peter Ferguson, suck my taint.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
The Post is coming for you. The mainstream media is coming for you.